Everyone, it's Heidi from Flutter by Heidi, and I'm Heidi Smith, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in the United Kingdom. And today's project is using some of the new items in the autumn and winter catalogue, the new mini catalogue that's just coming out on the 4th of August. And I thought I'd show you some of those. So the first one is the new Pick-a-Punch. So we had the lovely labels one in the annual catalogue, and this is the same idea, that actually you've got two ends and you've got a flag end and the inverse of that in three different widths, so a half, 3/4 and 1 inch. So you get 6 different sizes of punch on whatever banner you like. So we're going to use that along with some plaid tidings paper. Now this is obviously designed for Christmas, but you know what, it's so lovely, the colours are really gorgeous. You could use this for all sorts of occasions. A whole range of colours, from sort of Cajun Craze, Cherry Cobbler, Cinnamon Cider, Mango Melody, Melon Mambo, Misty Moonlight, Pretty Peacock, Pumpkin Pie, Rich Raspberry, Seaside Spray and Shaded Spruce. So you name it, it's kind of in there. So I'll go through these. They're 6x6 papers and they are all double-sided. So you've got all the different designs, and you can see here the lovely rich colours, absolutely beautiful. That one, look, with Pretty Peacock, some basic black and grey in there, Cinnamon Cider. So if you like your tartans, this is absolutely perfect. But because they've got such fun colour combinations, some of them are traditional, it's very Christmas red and green, but lots of them aren't. So I'm going to use these, and I love that Seaside Spray there. And you can see here the sort of pinks coming in there with the Melon Mambo. How about this one? This is lovely, Melon Mambo, and looks like Mango Melody there. And again, some Cinnamon Cider paired with, is it sort of probably Cherry Cobbler, I think, in there. Probably a bit of Rich Raspberry as well. Nice black and white tartan, and finally this one here. So lots of different colour combinations can be used for all sorts of things. Plaid tidings, not just for Christmas. So I've chosen that to pair with this one. Lots to celebrate. So this is a really versatile stamp set that covers really the 4 seasons. So you've got snowflakes and leaves and summer flowers, stars and hearts, and then this all coordinates with the jar punch as well. Now I'm not using the jar punch on this on this project, but you see you've got some sentiments that would either fit in the centre of the jar or outside of it. And then you've got little strings here, so your stars could be on little strings or any of these. And this is the project we're making. A pretty suspension card, as you can see, using the plaid tidings and using those lovely autumn leaves in autumn colours. So here I've used Pumpkin Pie and Cherry Cobbler to pick out the colours in there, and sort of go with the colours of the leaves. And you see I've just added a little strip of DSP on the inside and small leaves. Dear me, gosh, yawning my head off. It must be that time of day. Time for a little lie down. I'll get this project finished first. And just a fun suspension card. And I've added a couple of extra layers, so it's really nice and sturdy. It's not going to splay anywhere. So that's my project, and the paper I'm going to use is this one here. So you can see we've got lovely Mango Melody and Cinnamon Cider, and on this the side I'm using, but on the reverse obviously you've got Cherry Cobbler there as well. So let's crack on. I think the lovely thing about these this stamp set, I suspect this will be one that won't carry over because we've already got a jar one. So it's one that I'm going to have. So as long as I have that, it's going to coordinate with my jar punch. And this, actually, I should have pointed out, this is one of the $1 million stamp sets as well. So when you sell $1 million, I'm way off that. But when you do, you get to help design a stamp set, which is absolutely fantastic. And so this is one of the ones, I can't remember whose one that was, but they then have a stamp set in the catalogue. So I've cut my card, and this is, oh dear, thick Whisper White, which I've cut to 10.5 centimetres, and I'm just trimming that down to 23.5 centimetres. You're then going to score at 14.5, and then cut again at 4.5 centimetres or 19 centimetres as we've got it in there. Okay. So you've got a piece that's 4.5 and then you've got your card base. Okay, so pop that to one side. So what you want to do now is we want to add our layers. So give that a really good burnish. And we're going to add some layers of card and DSP. And I've gone for the Mango Melody here, as you can see. Lovely bright colour, and that really picks out the that lovely sort of orangey colour in there. So I've cut 2 pieces of card, which are 4 by 10.5, and then I've cut 2 pieces of DSP, which are 3.5 by 10.5, and that just creates the layer. Sometimes it's nice not to have a border all the way around, and it can make it easier for you to line up as well. So just add your DSP to the middle of that card. Just layer that up, obviously with got a bit of wiggle room using our wet glue. Do the same on this one, and then this one's going to go onto our Whisper White panel as well. So if I add my paper first, as you can see, I've just finished doing another project, which you can see on the back there. Those are the hearts. So I haven't decided what order these projects are going to be in, so you may have already seen the project using the hearts, or you may not. Okay, so this panel here is my bottom panel. Pop that to one side. This one here is going to go on the top of my card. Nice bit of Tombow all over that, and then just centre that panel and pop that to one side. And now we can start with our stamping. Now of course it would be helpful if I'd actually cut a piece of Whisper White. So my Whisper White, I've used thick Whisper White for the base. And for my stamping I need a piece that's 5 by 7 centimetres. So out of a scrap here I'm just going to cut a piece. That's 5 by 7. There we go. Just a little bit easier to kind of centre, to cut the card to size first, then stamp our jar. So I'm actually going to use the cinnamon cider, new ink pad, so it's still quite stiff to open. So just if you sort of use that your grid paper or something else, just to keep that straight, and then I'm going to just pop that in the centre of my card. See there, so there's my little jar. I'm now going to use my Mango Melody for my lid. Okay, so I've inked up this lovely jar lid, which I'm going to just pop on there first. And then I'm going to come in with the kind of frill, so it's as if it's like a preserve jar. And that's just going to come down the bottom there. A little bit wonky. Okay, we can get away with it. Okay, now to create the leaves, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to ink my Stamp Up with the lighter colour, the Mango Melody first. Then I'm just going to grab a sponge dauber, which I'm going to dip in the cinnamon cider, and just in places add a little bit of colour. And I'm going to pop that down like so. You see it just nestles beautifully in with those. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a post-it note and just pop that just across the edge there of the frill, and I'm going to ink it up in exactly the same way again. So Mango Melody, ink dauber, just little hints of cinnamon cider to get a variegated leaf. Then I'm going to turn it upside down and stamp those leaves like so. So we've got a real sort of mixture of leaves, and I've just put it up the other way just to make sure I didn't go up into that jam jar frill. So that's my panel. Now what I'm going to do is very quickly grab my blend, because I know some of that other card I haven't actually kind of grounded the image. So what that means is otherwise it kind of looks like it's floating. So what I'm going to do is put a bit of ink on the very corner, take my blender pen, and then I'm just going to sort of put a little shadow around that. Okay, just to finish that off. Now I've stamped that, what I'm going to do is layer that up onto some card. So I've got some pieces again of cinnamon cider and mango melody, so echoing the colours that are in the paper. And I've got a piece of cinnamon cider here. It's just 1/2 centimetre bigger. So this one is 5.5 by 7.5 centimetres. And I can just grab my Stampin' Seal. So this is the new glue that came out this summer. Really easy to use, very gentle. If you're at all worried about placement and want a little bit more time, then use your Tombow. And I shall use my Tombow for when I add my panel to the front of my suspension card. So again, 1/2 centimetre bigger. So this panel here is 8 centimetres by 6 centimetres. So you can see that just layers up beautifully, and you've got all those colours echoed in there already. Now what we want to do is add this to the centre of our card. Now I think a ruler is, I mean it's up to you entirely, but I'm going to sort of, it's just over 2 centimetres on each side. So I'm just going to move that over just very marginally. Okay, yeah, so that's about right. So I'm going to use these lines. So it's basically between those two black lines and down below. So I'm going to add my glue, unusually, to my card in this instance. Okay, so I'm just as I said, I'm just using my Tombow, gives me a little bit of wiggle room to add that panel. Fold your card and then line this up with the very bottom, and then again just put a thin piece of glue, probably can't see that, there you go, in the centre there. Fold the card over and just press and hold very slightly. Now that this panel's in place, it's easy for us to see where we want our extra leaves images to go. Now you see I've got a little bit of glue oozing there. If you ever get that, if you just take a scrap of card, just scrape that out of the way. So leave that open. And then I'm going to come in and just repeat that technique with our stamp again. And that way I think it's rather than using more paper, sometimes you don't always want to use a lot more of your paper, or it's a little, perhaps a little bit more, oh, I got away with that one, than you want. So this is around about halfway down my card. Hopefully you can see that. I'm just about on camera. So one lot there, and the same on the other side. The cinnamon side is a lovely warm kind of brown as well that we've got. Really pretty, pretty colour. So I'm just going to add some seal to a 1.5 centimetre by 10 centimetre strip of DSP, which I've cut. Just add a bit of interest to the bottom there. And then I've cut another identical piece of our mango melody to go on the inside. So this is the sort of strengthening part of it. So I'm just adding plenty of glue onto there, and we're just going to create a sandwich. So it doesn't have to be an exact match as long as it matches on the sides. So just line that up and give it a nice gentle press. Yeah. And all that's left is for us to create a banner. So with my banner, I've already cut some card, which is 3/4 of an inch wide. And what I'm actually going to do is punch it first and then do my stamping. So I'm going to use the other end of the banner. So these channels are designed to take our card. So I'm just going to pop it all the way in and punch. And all the way in that channel and punch. That's the problem when you're using a small piece. Okay, and then I thought I'd do exactly the same, thinking of you, but actually have it coming in from the other side. So I'm going to pop my thinking of you in cinnamon cider there. Then add that, add a bit of Tombow to the reverse. And then you can just line that up to as much or as little showing as you want. And then to get a nice straight edge, I just pop that into the top here and trim it off. And then I'm just going to attach that to the side of my card, like so. So there we have a pair of lovely cards using the Lots to Celebrate stamp set and using our plaid tidings for non-Christmas cards. So I hope that's tempted you to buy the stamp set. I think it's a really useful one. Just pop along to my blog at Flutter by Heidi and you'll find the links there to all of the items I've used today, or to my Stampin' Up shop, Flutter by Heidi, HeidiSmith.stampinup.net. I'll get it right. Perhaps I am too tired to craft now. Thanks for watching. Come back and see me soon, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye now.